On Friday morning, 2 people were rescued after being found trapped by rising river water on a small island in Liaoning province. Rainstorms have also caused waterlogging in some cities of Jilin province since Thursday. And on some streets, the water has increased to more than half a meter in depth. A Wednesday rain powered down in the city of Harbin in Heilongjiang province, creating vast areas of floodwater. The heavy rain lasted more than 10 hours in Tongliao, Inner Mongolia, and destroyed some houses and streets. The rain is expected to lessen from Saturday.
China has conducted another live-fire drill near the site of a tense border standoff with India. Indian and Chinese troops are facing off in territory where the borders of China, India, and Bhutan meet. Indian troops reportedly entered the area to halt China's construction of a road near the thin strip of land connecting India's northeastern territory to the rest of the country. On Thursday, August 3rd, China's foreign ministry once again demanded an immediate withdrawal of Indian troops and alleged India is amassing soldiers and supplies along the border. However, India denied a military buildup. The Associated Press reports Chinese state television broadcast video of a live fire exercise involving missiles in the region on Friday. Meanwhile, India has been revitalizing its submarine arsenal in response to aggressive moves by China, preparing to accept the first of 6 modern diesel-powered submarines it ordered in 2005. For United News International, I'm Matt Paul.
UN Security Council resolutions have clear rules on DPRK missile launches. China opposes it going against those rules and urges Pyongyang to create conditions for restarting negotiations. Here, I call on all sides to maintain calm and restraint to help ease the tensions on the peninsula.
Turkey lives in a dangerous neighborhood, and that danger is spilling over into its borders. The potential for an even wider conflict is also a risk on everyone's mind. That's why Turkey says it needs the most capable defenses. And while it has the second largest army in NATO, Turkey doesn't have its own air defense system. That's something Ankara wants to change. Its goal is to have a self-sufficient defense industry by 2023. But how will this gap be bridged? For almost a year, Ankara has been negotiating with Moscow to buy the S-400 surface-to-air missile defense system, a deal that is raising eyebrows among its Western allies. What exactly is the S-400 and why is it so controversial? The S-400 is a Russian-made anti-aircraft missile system. It's been called one of the most reliable air defenses around and can shoot down almost any target. The S-400 has a range of 400 kilometers and can track hundreds of targets simultaneously. Its capability is so prized that only a few countries have been able to get their hands on it. So far, Russia has only sold the missiles to China and India. But how are Turkey's Western allies reacting to all of this? Well, the US has expressed concern that the S-400 won't be compatible with NATO's defense systems and wants its allies to refrain from buying Russian arms. Washington also accuses Ankara of abandoning its traditional friends. If that's true, what's pushed Turkey to seek such alternatives?
Ama biz yıllardır Amerika ile bu tür şeylerde istediğimizi yapamıyorsak, alamıyorsak arayış içerisinde olmak durumundayız.
Ankara says it was disappointed with NATO when they were willing to sell such systems but didn't want to share that technology behind them. Russia is offering what NATO members wouldn't offer. Under the $2.5 billion agreement, 2 batteries will be delivered by Moscow and the others will be produced in Turkey. Considering the current state of affairs in the region, which side has the better case?
Psychologists say there are limits to human compassion. Their research finds that the larger the tragedy, the harder it is for the public to relate to it and sympathize with its victims. That's playing out now in Yemen. The country is experiencing the worst humanitarian crisis in its modern history. Images of malnourished and dying children are shown in news bulletins across the world. A cholera outbreak has also killed nearly 2,000 people and infected more than 400,000.
My message to all international and local organizations is to give attention to people affected by the disease, because sometimes the pain is unbearable and cannot be tolerated. This disease is extremely dangerous.
But yet this humanitarian crisis hasn't created an international outcry. The UN calls it a man-made disaster.
You see cholera spreading because of attacks on health infrastructure, on electricity, on water distribution system, because of unclean water, and we have to deal with this crisis in a comprehensive issue. And this is a very serious situation. It is the direct consequence of war.
A pro-government coalition led by Saudi Arabia has been fighting Houthi rebels for more than 2 years. The Houthi rebellion culminated in 2015 when they took over the capital, Sana'a, with Iran's backing. Months later, Saudi Arabia and its Arab allies entered the conflict. It's now widely seen as a proxy war between the Iranians and the Saudis. It's killed nearly 10,000 people, and the country's infrastructure lies in ruins. But the warring parties have promised to let aid through after donors in Geneva pledged more than $1 billion this year. But months later, aid workers tell a different story.
We still require these funds to come through. We call on the international community, therefore, to redouble their efforts to support the people of Yemen. If we fail to do so, the catastrophe we see unfolding before our eyes will continue to claim lives and will scare future generations in the country itself for many years to come.
Aid groups call the situation in Yemen bleak. But the Arab world's richest country continues to bomb the poorest, and the outrage may remain as weak as those who are suffering. Rahul Radhakrishnan, TRT World.
The FBI is investigating a bomb attack at a mosque in Minneapolis. Authorities say it's still too early to call it a hate crime, but mosque members say they were targeted because of their faith. TV 1055's Wendy Gillette has the story.
This broken window is what's left after someone threw a bomb inside a mosque in a Minneapolis suburb early Saturday morning.
One of our congregation members came out immediately and he saw a truck fleeing from the parking lot, running very high speed.
Witnesses say the device that exploded was thrown into the imam's office at Dar al-Farouk Islamic Center in Bloomington just after 5 a.m. There were as many as 20 people inside preparing for morning prayers. They were able to extinguish the flames before firefighters arrived. No one was injured. The FBI is leading the investigation.
At this point, our focus is to determine, who and why.
Those affiliated with the mosque say it's been the target of numerous hate messages, emails, and calls, and say they believe this incident is a hate crime.
Hate is not okay. We need a better America. Targeting people because of their race, their ethnicity, or their religion is absolutely un-American.
Saturday afternoon, several interfaith leaders from the area gathered to show their support.
An attack on a mosque is an attack on a synagogue, is an attack on a church. It's an attack on all faith communities.
The mosque mostly serves people in the Somali community. A $10,000 reward is being offered to help catch the suspect.
That was Wendy Gillette reporting. The FBI says investigators recovered parts of the explosive device to examine how it was assembled.